What's up, Alpha? It's your boy Alpha. I'm looking cute, looking clean, looking sexy. And of course, we talking about Hot D, House of the Dragon, season 2, episode 4. And of course, y'all know I'm joined with an amazing cast of characters who know the books. Tori, you got more friends this time that y'all can argue with. So we gonna start off with.
Always fun.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Ebony Moonbeam. You can find me at Ebony_Moonbeam on all social media platforms. You already know I'm a waifu. 1/3 of the Female Blerd-led podcast that airs Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific. We had a show last night about Demon Slayer, so be sure to check that out. You can always find me on Wednesdays at Casual Conversations with Afro Kami, Lord Cartel's Roundtable, etc., etc. You already know if you're looking for some hot D, come this way. We here. We ready.
And we joined with another person you seen a while ago, but he's back. Shout out to Jedi Mike.
Hi guys, it's Jedi Mike 7. You can follow me on socials at Jedi Mike 7. I'm part of the African American Film Critic Association, so I do interviews, roundtables, coverage, and press and stuff like that. You can also find me on the platforms such as Team JBS and also on Big Gold Belt Media as well. I do coverage for them as well. But yeah, you can follow my socials on there at Jedi Mike 7 or over here. Yeah. Thank you for having me.
No problem. And y'all know him. Y'all know this one right here. This one right here. As soon as my computer not delayed. There you go.
You already know. Your local neighborhood scumbag here to give the folks their daily dose of dirtbags. Same gimmick, different day. Ready to talk dragons. It's finally time to talk legitimate dragon warfare. You love to see it.
You love to see it. And of course, we got another guest. First time on the podcast. We welcome him. How you doing, man?
Alton the analyst, you know what I'm saying? The 6th Gorosei member. I'm just an average black guy that has kids and gets bored, watch anime, and talks about his opinions and records it. Catch me on YouTube, all the other whatever platforms just out there. Alton the analyst.
Let's go. Ain't we all just regular people who just talk anime and movies and review shows? And by the way, for people that don't know, we review Power every Friday, so be there for that. It won't be back to September 6th. So
I'm not regular.
Oh, wait, this was the mid season.
No, that was season 4, part 1.
I'm not a power Negro. You won't catch me on that show, but you guys know that.
We got Bel Air. We got a bunch of shows. We got Deadpool.
I'm not watching that either.
Not watching Deadpool?
Oh, no, we are going to see We're watching Deadpool.
Yeah, you talking about Bel Air?
Yeah, I'm not.
I don't watch Bel Air.
I watch, but yeah,
I'm waiting for season 3.
My job. It's my job.
I'm waiting for season 3.
And the Queen Serpent, so I will be doing Queen Serpent too.
Oh
so
God,
very popular. I do like Queen Serpent. So we got a question in the chat for Afro coming already.
Cuz, listen, I'm going through it. Listen, it's been rough, but I'm making it through. My lungs aren't what they used to be. I'm a little cooked. It is what it is.
Let's get to what the people want to talk about, and of course, that's the Hot D, House of the Dragon. We saw the dragon fight. Finally, how do we feel about it? Tell us how do you feel? How it differentiate from the books and all this stuff? How did we feel about it? Did we enjoy it? Did we not like that the dragon didn't land on him and it was a little more oculus if it was intentional? Did we like that we finally got the intent of what happened? More so in the real story. We're gonna start off with let's start with our usual. I know he's upset about something.
Okay, listen, I'm actually not. If we're just talking the dragon fight, I wasn't extremely upset. Did I feel like maybe we downplayed the death of Rhaenys Targaryen? I mean, that name is just bad luck. Because think about original Rhaenys got shot down over Dorne, fell to her death with her dragon. Now you got this Rhaenys. In the books, they say that she 2v1 that shit, which we all know that the interpretations in the books can be highly played up considering they're coming from second and third hand accounts. But yeah, she 2v1'd him in the book, but I felt like this, just the whole setup of Aemon, like when we get to the part where he's where fucking Sunfyre and Aegon are first flying through, and Vhagar starts to go after him, and he stops her and makes her wait. Fucking, it was. I enjoyed it. Did I sort of want to see fucking Rhaenys 2v1 these niggas and go down like the queen that she is? I mean, she still went down like a queen, but it would have been cooler to see her try and fucking 2v1 them niggas. But either way, I didn't hate it. I liked it, yo. Freaking, I enjoyed the cool visual of the fireball in the sky as they're fucking tussling. That shit's flames. The play on dragon's blood being boiling when fucking flies over and just hot oils his own people. Because don't forget, folks, the blacks did not have an army in this battle, so fucking there was a lot of green collateral damage that came, which shows why everyone was so hesitant to be like, yo, once you start throwing down with dragons, shit gets kind of wonky. And I feel like this showed it super well. Like I said, the blacks did not have an army here, so any soldiers that were or weren't crushed or were doused in boiling dragon's blood, fucking, that's just a net negative all around for the Greens. So,
repeat that.
Right. Say that, Angelica.
Let's go, Jedi Mike. How do you feel about it?
Well, as a book reader and as a as I'm bringing my wife into this, she's clean and everything. Nothing was. I walked handheld her all to Game of Thrones and even to House of Dragons and all that stuff, and know all the foolishness and fuckery and all of it. And I would say with this as a book reader, I am happy in terms of how it turned out. In terms of this battle, because I was, this is a battle I was looking forward to, but I was wondering where they were going to end off with season 2, because I thought maybe possibly they're going to end this with this battle at the end of season 2 or something. We had a little more time with Rhaenys, but again, this show was picking up, which is good. But again, it just, the big part, it just turns how they're going to execute what I actually read. Obviously, taking creative liberties because there's so much you can put on paper, but there's another way of actually executing on screen with the visuals, the score, all of that, the action, choreography, all of that. And to be more of a symbiotic thing at the end as the final product, I can say as a fan that I'm happy. Definitely one of the top 5 fights in Game of Thrones, in terms of dragon fights or battles, because this is the closest we ever gotten to, because like in the season 8, we had the 2-on-1 with the Night King and Jon Snow and Daenerys on their dragons, but we couldn't see shit because it was in pitch black. And so, but this we see bright daylight, and even the book says it emphasized that the sun, the skies were shining bright as the sun because it was flames in the air. And so we got basically what a lot of us been asking for in terms of these like dragon fight in the House of Dragons. So, but this is more. This is just setting the setting stage. It's the early stages of what's coming very, very soon. So, I'm happy as a book reader. So, yeah.
Shout out to Angelica. Yo, hey, listen, my guy, professional out here. This is his job.
It's my job. Yeah, follow the links below. It's my job. I'm black. I'm able to speak articulately.
Speaking of articulate, let's give it to our queen.
How did I know you were gonna?
Gate Beam.
First of her name.
Gate Beam in the building.
You know what? I'm not even gonna. We're gonna stay focused. So
she might have a dragon in that backyard.
It's listen.
Well, I do have a dire wolf, like literally right next to me. So
it's getting hot out around the gates, Ebony. Is that what's happening?
Let me tell you, it was hot today. But anyways, it was so hot. I live in Florida.
The demeanor brings it, yo.
Yeah. So for the fight, I just this fight, it hit hard for me because Rhaenys is easily my favorite character.
I wonder why.
Like, the queen that never was. The only difference is in my head, I'm always a queen. Well, see, that's why. That's exactly why. And so everything about her has always just been like elegant, but still stand on business. I respected the fact that the person that had said over and over again that we can't afford to have a war between dragons. It's going to be terrible. It's going to be bloody. It's going to be the worst thing possible, but then to also understand that out of the people that were left at Dragonstone that had the ability to ride out on a dragon, she was the most expendable. And I think that she
But
also
it's
felt
fucked up because she was also one of the most experienced. But go ahead, my bad.
exactly, she was the most experienced, and that's what kind of hurt. I hated every aspect of the fact that she like turned back around, but when she showed up on the scene, I was ready. The touching moment between her and Maylis, where she said, we going back out, old girl." Like that was just
Did you
everything
go in
about that
knowing
was
she was
great.
gonna die?
They
Did
gave
I go in knowing that she was gonna die?
Yeah. Did you go into the
Oh,
episode?
the yes. If you watch enough shows and movies, you felt it. You knew it instantly.
Okay.
Like I didn't even need to read. I didn't even need to read that part of the book to know that she was going to die. And I was just sitting there like waiting to figure out like how it was gonna go. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. I did, and I knew that Aegon was going out there too. I was like, I bet you he's about to go out on this dragon, and then he broke that jaw, and I was like, "Yep, there he's going." So it was good to see. I thought that it was a really well done battle visually. Just like Jedi Mike said, the score, the cinematography on it was excellent. I personally didn't see any issues, and for me, it was one of the best episodes. It definitely was the best episode of this season, and for me, it may have even been my favorite episode of all of House of the Dragon. If I'm gonna be real with you, because it gave everything it needed to give. Is just in that fight alone, let alone with everything else that goes on in the rest of the episode. So I thought that it was done really well. The juxtaposition of like who's really good and who's really bad, who's right, who's wrong. And I love the aspect that Christian Cole in this scene and in this battle really understands that there is a huge difference between a war between men and a war between dragons. And you played a major part in starting something that you knew nothing about. So it was a good episode. I can't wait for more.
Yeah.
Yeah, and finally we got the bastard son of the Lannisters himself. And then we told me
That
the name.
nigga got the key to that. That nigga got the key to the rock though. So
She put on that push. I see.
So this, I would say the saddest thing I would say about this whole episode is I feel more sad. It's crazy for me to say, I feel more sorry for the dragons. I mean, it's like the dragons I feel sorry for, and
Yeah.
then I feel sorry for Rhaenyra. Because one thing, because like if you know, for people who don't read the books and stuff like that, right? The former writers, right? The first few writers, like a couple of writers before the people that we seen in the battlefield yesterday, right? Was Baelor, who used to ride, I forgot Volgar, whatever his name is. Vhagar, and then you have Alyssa, his wife, his sister wife, who used to also ride Caraxes. She used to also ride Caraxes. So there was a time for years where these dragons was flying side by side, fighting together, like spent time with each other. These so it was a point where these dragons had to be like in their head, you know what I'm saying?
wait,
why are we fighting?
You mean Melees, not Caraxes.
Melees, yes, Melees. Him and both of them were side by side. They were very close. They were like basically together for a long time. And then with Rhaenyra, right? Rhaenyra, for her to, what I'm saying, also with her connection with Vhagar, right? And the fact that was her daughter's old dragon.
Rhaenys, not Rhaenyra.
Rhaenys daughter used to ride the dragon. And the fact that, what I'm saying, that has to do with the death of her daughter, something that she didn't really get to have closure on, really, or really get to really grieve on. And for that to happen, and then for, it just was really poetic to me when it comes to that. Also the fact that damn, I don't know why I just lost train of thought, but that they was raised together, they flew together. That used to be her daughter's dragon, And the fact that, you know, with seeing her discover who, you know what I'm saying, saved her husband and who exactly what it was just earlier that episode. I mean, I loved her character. I feel like it was a great end to her story and stuff like that. Just like earlier, it wasn't as brutal as we thought it was, or as so much of a 1v2 situation because of the hearsay that we get from the books. I don't know. I feel sorry for the dragons that they have to put each other out, and this is really like a dance of the dragons, of them taking each other out. And if you look at this battle, I feel like this battle also helps and shows. And I feel like throughout the show, until we get to that part where dragons should not be no more, you're gonna agree with the humans. Like you're gonna be like, yeah, maybe we should get rid of them because, you know. The guy
real
was
dangerous.
They're turning people to husk out there. You know, it's too much power. That's too much power.
So did y'all think that if
this is supposed to depict though why there aren't any dragons come the beginning of A Song of Ice and Fire, like Game of Thrones proper? Like this is why there weren't. This is why there weren't dragons, and that's what I think some people don't think about that. Like, yes, it's gonna be cool to see the dragons and everything, but remember, this is the story of why King Aerys was using wildfire. You know what I mean? There's a reason. But yeah.
Well, I also thought that it showed in this how Rhaenys was with Meleys. It wasn't just that she didn't want a battle of dragons between dragons for the sake of just humans either. There was a moment where I just really felt like she didn't want to take, like, you know, they have a connection. It's almost like this is her mother, their sister, their child, their best friend, or whatever, their soulmate, their partner. And she didn't want to take her into battle. And that's kind of how I felt with that. And so to see her have that moment, and also in terms of going back, do we think that because it seemed like Aemond had kind of like was just doing his own thing and she was leaving. Do you think that he would have let her leave if she wouldn't have turned back? I was just curious to see what y'all thought, because the way it looked, it did give that kind of energy, and I was like, "Don't turn back, don't turn back." But she did.
I see what you're saying.
I disagree.
I get how it could look, but I think he was cooking her regardless, yo.
He set his brother on fire.
No.
Yes, I'm just saying. If you looked at how
there's multiple layers to that. There's multiple layers to that, and I'm saying I disagree.
And we know what comes from this. Depending on how much they change it, this and that, we know what comes after this.
I want to hear what Jedi Mike was about to say, because he said he disagreed with y'all, and I like that.
No, because you have to understand. Like, I saw a lot of comments. You know, people were saying like, "Man, this is bad writing. That's the dumbest shit like she ever did to keep coming back. She had 2 opportunities to leave the fight." We have to understand. This is the queen that never was, but this was the woman that never needed a crown to be a queen. Because, you know, she exemplified in everything in terms of duty, responsibility, even to a point of also pulling back in terms of, hey, listen, I could have wiped out the entire Green family, which is still that's reigning over her head. You know, but at the same time, you understand, like, since day one, she's been a mother, experiencing loss, a loss of the crown, the loss of her children, you know, loss in terms of, you know, her birthright, basically. Because she's a woman, but at the same time, this whole show is just an allegory, even that positions of power that some people that are meant to be, you know, in the position of power will never be, but yet they'll do what they can to say, listen, if I can't be the king or queen of, you know, of this kingdom, whatever, I can do my very damn best to try to end this war. And the biggest right now, it's like, listen, I gave too many opportunities. If it wasn't for me not to blow the greens, we wouldn't have Lucerys, Rhaenyra's son be killed. We wouldn't have the grandson be killed on the greens. None of this. And even then, she was the one that even told Rhaenyra to go to Alicent to say, hey, listen, if there's any saving grace, go talk to her, even though it's going against her own counsel. So when she kept going back over again, you know, at the battle and stuff, she's like, no, I'm need to do everything I can to end this, right? Yes, and she didn't even know if Aegon was dead or not, but even then, it doesn't matter because Vhagar was there. Vhagar is the biggest threat that they had in terms on the green side. That hey, if I have a chance to take him out, even if it means my life, so be it, right? And I think with that point, where you're talking about would he have let go, not have attacked Rhaenys, whatever, if she kept no, he would have let her go because his intentions was never to actually kill Rhaenys. It was to conquer the actual land because they were playing a strategy. Listen, we don't need we're not gonna win this war over dragons. We win this war over men. And that land, I forgot the name of the land of the person, whoever is on Rhaenyra's council, but saying he was playing a game of strategy. Like, I'm not gonna go with the brute force. That was Aegon's strategy, and that's what got him his ass burnt. Because like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna blaze it through with my dragon, and then that's how we're gonna win this. No, but Rhaenys kept coming back. Said, okay, you want some? All right, let's go. So that's how it did. That's how he did. See, aside from this is the thing with Aemon. Aemon is never a first retaliator. He's never a first retaliator. Like he's always the person where like I'm not going to initiate the first blow. You hit me, okay, now I'm hitting you back. Ever since he was a kid, it's been the same thing. You took my eye out. All right, 6 years later, I'm killing your ass. Same thing.
You're not wrong.
Same thing. He's always been a retaliator, not an initiator.
Aemon's never the aggressor.
Right, exactly. So that's why I feel like
very aggressive.
Right, that's to her point. If she's left and gone, yeah, she might have lost the battle, whatever. But she like, no, you can go ahead. I already won the land. It's over. But no. She kept coming back, and I was like, all right, let's do this. And that's what happened.
And he's very calculated. I feel like he had already planned so many different things, not just with that. After succeeding with kind of being able to take out his brother, or at least what he thought he was able to do, and stuff, I think that he probably wasn't willing to take a risk of completely losing or injuring his own dragon. But then the fact that she just kept coming back, it's like, okay, well, I may just go on and seize the opportunity to take out another dragon off the board. But if it wasn't necessary to do, I don't think that he would have just went and chose to do it because there were so many other things involved in that plan to begin with. So that's why I was wondering if you guys thought that he would have let her go. And I feel like the way that they shot it, there was, just like he said, there was multiple times where Rhaenys was just flying around in the air by herself. Vhagar wasn't coming after her. So I don't believe that he was determined to take her out. I think when she showed up, he was like, oh, bet. Because obviously Christian Cole did all of that intending to draw out a dragon or draw out the blacks. Which every time I say that, that's just crazy.
I know, right?
I wish they just said the Reds.
The blacks.
I wish they were the
really
Reds.
wish, because every time I say the blacks, I just like, it's a part of me because I talk so much crap online about people that use the term the blacks. It just gives instant racism for me. Right. I just can't. It triggers me deep down inside. But as a black woman, I'm like, okay, like
I'm still black,
obviously.
We know because you're a colonizer.
Shout out to colonialism.
No, y'all, he's not. He's only part colonizer.
That's coming from somebody from behind the gates.
I do. I see where you are.
Because guess what? I still got way more melanin, and it's rooted, deeply
I see where
rooted.
You are coming from, but I also look at it as I feel like deep down knew, like he even said earlier, Aemon was willing to directly shoot a fireball right on his brother, his king, like it was nothing, and try to make it look like an accident. So who's the only person that can contest to that is her. So she got to go. She got to go. And I don't know. I really want to see how they're going to move things from now, because you know how we were told in the story, in the normal story, if they go by actually how we looked at it,
Aegon's gonna have a rough time.
Right, we shouldn't be seeing him. We should be they should be making the audience feel that he's gone, that he's dead for at least a season or two. You know what I'm saying? So I want to see how they're going to play that out and stuff like that. And to go back with Vhagar, it's crazy with me. Vhagar, and then we know like down the line what's going to happen to Vhagar and Harrenhal and stuff like that. And the crazy part is with him and Daemon is the relationship that kind of him and Vhagar and Daemon have. Vhagar followed Daemon back to Westeros from Pentos. Vhagar, you know what I'm saying? Vhagar is his father's dragon, his wife's old dragon. And for this dragon to be the biggest threat and all that connections to have to them is wild to me.
But we're going to get Dragon Seed play before too long, so then you add more dragons into the mix. So
I like that they showed it. I like that they showed Aegon to a point where you're not 100% sure if he's here or not. I think that the logical thing, regardless if you've read the books or not, it would make sense to keep him alive just because of how that can just add another layer of either A, crazy, or A, problems, because he looked his brother in the face as he decided to attack. So we know that could be super problematic later on down the line. And then that could put a little bit of fear and worry into Aemon's situation and stuff. So I think that I like that they did that. So you weren't 100% sure for the people that just don't pick up on context clues. Like instantly, but they have been going, they deviate here and there, but I think the showrunners of House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones, it just doesn't make sense to me for him to not be alive and just to see what happens next, because that just adds another layer to the fight, because we know that Targaryens have a tendency to go crazy, and hey, you try and you're my sibling and you try and unalive me, like, yeah, I'm probably going to go crazy one way or the other. It's going to be like sadness and despair that makes me crazy, or it's going to be anger that's going to make me crazy. But I'm not going to stay hinged. I can tell you that much.
But from what we know, I mean, from the speed that they're going in and how things is just accumulating, I look at the season of this series probably having one, maybe two more seasons, maybe, at the speed that they're going. I don't think it'll be too hard for them to keep up the facade that Aegon is dead or Aegon's out the picture, especially with the
But what if they don't? Events. What if they don't even try to? What if they dive right into it?
I feel like it would mess up the ending. I feel like it'll mess up the surprise at the ending of when he reveals himself and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they still can work it out that he's not on screen. I'm not saying that they have to confirm that he's dead or something like that, but make the average viewer, the person that hasn't read the books or don't know anything about the books, feel that he's gone, that he's dead. So when that reveal comes, it hits like whoa, yeah. Like whoa, he's alive. Like whoa, like I don't know. I just like how we had to find out that he was alive because we thought he was dead. When you read the book at this point, you're like, oh yeah, he's gone. It's a wrap for him. He melted inside of his what? No, it's a wrap for him.
Right.
But you still,
and that's why books are always better, because you have to use your imagination, and it's not like, oh, we get a quick shot or whatever of seeing his body come back to home and all that stuff to wonder if he's alive. Like, you just know that he was melted, but y'all don't know anything else. That's why I like books.
Even when they did it, even when they told the story, because I even told my friends that if you watch the history of lore of Game of Thrones, which videos are all on YouTube, these are literally like stories that was added on to the Game of Thrones each season in the DVDs,
right?
And they were telling the stories that was in the books, and or actually putting details in stories that was just mentioned in the books that we didn't even get too much detail. So actually, yeah, it's like this sometimes it up ones the books. And one of the seasons they did show and talk about the Dance of the Dragons. And even Joffrey, when they told it there, yeah, Joffrey brought it up. Even they used Joffrey,
right, but also they
was using Joffrey's voice. They were using all that, and it was, and even if you're watching through that, just first time watching through that, and when you first see him, the 3-way dragon fight, you think Aegon's out of there. You know what I'm saying? They still made it a mystery that You know what I'm saying? If he was alive or not, or it made it seem like he was just gone. I don't know. I can't wait. I feel like this season has been proving me wrong. I thought they were going to go slow. I'm thinking Blood and Cheese is going to be a episode 8 type of thing. They put it out
No way.
episode 1
No
saw
way.
me.
No, yeah.
They put it out.
When
They put it
they
out.
did that, when they did the time skip in the first season, I knew they were trying. That was like they're trying to do this in a timely manner to a certain degree.
So yeah.
Yeah, but they have
I
enough
can't-
meat to like do 3 seasons at like as
Yeah,
a
I
3
think
solid
3 is
seasons. Because this is the issue. Either you have 3 solid seasons and actually have a good weight of meat in each individual episode, or you have 4 seasons and then you have almost a half of a lackluster of a 4th season, and then you kind of rush to conclude the season in season 4. This is what's going on with the boys right now.
I see them having a great season through this season, right? Third season will be the wrap of things, and then we get the great reveal, and then the great surprise that maybe people might be talking much as like it's Ned's, like it was Ned or the Red Wedding.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's how I see it. That's how if they do it right,
Correct.
It should be as big as impactful as that. But I do see a 4th season. I do see a 4th season. The 4th season I see is with Cregan. You know, when Cregan comes down and basically I see the 4th season being basically the aftermath of everything of of the Dance of the Dragon and what we find out about that, and then how it continues from there. But yeah, I like what they're doing. It's crazy to be it's the first time ever me being a book reader into this and not knowing exactly detailed what to expect. You feel me?
Correct.
But it's exciting at the same time.
And one thing I do like, Aemon, I did like the scene when Christian Cole walked up to Aemon. It was like, what happened to the king? And he had the dagger and he pointed it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not worried about this at all. I did it. He saw me do it. He said, brother, you come to help. And then he saw me say the word. And I just pointed at him like, you know what he is? Listen, and then we talked about this last week. His brother made fun of him. He embarrassed him in front of all the people.
Right. Listen.
Yeah, he's still mad.
He came into the group meeting and started speaking and like, can you speak language like me? And he couldn't.
And listen, he checked him. He checked him in Valerian. Like, listen, I know I studied Valerian. I know you only half read it, but I'm gonna still talk to you because I know nobody else in the room know Valerian but you and me.
He was like,
So
y'all
I'm
niggas
gonna
can't
I'm gonna check your ass in this council, but I'm not gonna embarrass you either. Like, because hey, I got a little bit of respect of the crown, right? So hey, you better let me do this strategy to save your ass, right? Or whatever. Right. And then when he talked back, he was speaking like broken Valerian, and stuff. And he's like, listen, okay, go ahead. Tell us your plan, King, your grace.
Hey, you know, when I knew it was over for Aegon, I kind of did have some kind of like sympathy for him or whatever in like episode 1, the way he was acting and stuff like that. He's still a great comic relief and stuff like that. But this is when I knew he was cooked. What is it? Episode 3? Was episode 3 when he was destroying Viserys's when he was destroying Viserys's model and stuff?
Yeah,
and then he said the great magic words that my goat has said. Goddamn Lord Lannister had said, anyone who has to scream, I am the king, is no king.
Not the king.
Is no king.
Yes, bingo.
And he kept screaming that. I was like, yep, it's over for you, bro. It's over for you. As soon as you do that, no one's gonna believe in you. It's done. It's a wrap for you. But I don't know. Like I said, I like how things are going. I can't wait to see what happens next. Things has been, the only thing I do not like is the fact that they are trying to make Rhaenyra as good as a person. I understand you got to have that good guy, bad guy thing when it comes to telling stories, but this is not the story that has that. Like, that's why I'll choose no house. I take the black. I'll take the black in this situation. I'm not choosing green or Dallas black. I'm gonna take the black and go to the wall because I'm not serving no one on this because both of them are wrong. are wrong.
But this is supposed to be the truth of the matter, though. So maybe it would. So if this is supposed to be the truth of the matter, then
I feel like it messes it.
Look way worse. Maybe Master Monkey and Mushroom was like there's no politically correct way of saying
I feel like it makes the writers of the show and drives them to the wall, because for them to actually they forcefully have to put Rhaenyra in scenes or situations that doesn't necessarily have to happen. Like that, her sneaking into the freaking step with her last episode, that's filler. That is filler. If anything, is filler to me. But I just but also I don't know. I feel like it would have been better if they kept it the way that they do. As in, not either side is good nor bad, instead of trying to put it like that the Reds are all good and the Green are all bad. When, the black is, they do some messed up stuff too. And I don't know. And then the Damon situation, I know you're probably gonna bring that up.
It's a representation of family. That I think that's the what to me and why I feel like what we like Game of Thrones as much as the supernatural of it, or the the dragons and all the throne and the politics of it. The resort back to it is power dynamics within families. But also with this is bigger than than the previous Game of Thrones, because with this is actually a family becoming self-destructive. And on both sides, yes, you can see the perspective of they both have a claim to something, whatever. But at the same time, both of them, you want to get into biblical context, both have sin, both are imperfect, both are also gaslighting each other, putting a false version of themselves to look like they're, they're uptight and they're holy or self-righteous, whatever. But at the same time, also conflict, the biggest thing which a lot of us go through in family, all of it is the root of it is just a misunderstanding. So when you said that with the scene with Rhaenyra and Alicent, that probably didn't have that. I actually thought it was great that they have that, because at least for audience viewers, does she actually know what the words that came out of his mouth and what she interpreted and everything? Which is why in Alicent today, in this episode, you saw her even though she told Rhaenyra this doesn't change anything, whatever, she's still also in the back of my head, man, I really messed this up. Let me go ask people, hey, did he really actually want it Rhaenyra? But yet everybody around her you're the queen. You want me to tell you you're wrong? Hell no. I'm gonna tell you.
Right.
I'm right. So it's
but I don't feel like that's Game of Thrones-y. Like for example, right? Like when Ned, in the first season, right, when we saw Ned tell Jon, hey, when I come back, I'm gonna tell you everything that you need to know about your mom, right? All right, that happened, right? But it was us. But it was down to us there were basically what I'm saying. There were secrets in the original Game of Thrones, especially in the book, even now, that the secrets that are really big or even slightly small, it was something that the audience could have, and then it would genuinely come out. Or maybe, no, they didn't really genuinely come out, because I don't count anything of season 8 as being genuine. I don't count anything for season 8 as being genuine. Right. So I feel like, I don't know. I just feel like it was more, I don't know. Like you said, I respect and understand why some people would feel like that does make sense. Okay, we do need to make that confirm that Alicent is stupid and she just don't know her husband. So that's why this whole world is going. That's
why all the dragons gotta go.
Yeah, that's why all the dragons gotta go.
It's not even the fact that it was stupid. It was the fact that she said that. It's the fact that Alicent is a representation of people that, if they don't want to believe, when the truth is presented to them, there's nothing in their heart to actually view you as a truthful person, because people will in life will like to have an idea about you. Oh yeah, you are this type of person, whatever. And anything that might insinuate that you might have did this XYZ or this person, they were well, and then the truth is no, she didn't do this. This was XYZ. Well, she must have done it anyway. That is a representation of people, and even our own family members, when we're in conflict, that they would like to think of us as the idea that they fit a version of ourselves in their head, right? There's she's an evil person. She's so rude and XYZ. I'm no, you just didn't understand that this situation led to this XYZ.
I don't think Alicent is evil. I don't think her is evil. I just look
She's
at
a
Allison as a
hypocrite,
person.
that's for sure.
She's one of those people.
That's what she is.
That's for sure. But she's just one of those people that I feel like a lot of people in her life feel like she puts herself in a
She got
position
pimped
or
out to a king at a young age.
and thinks that she's more important than she really was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She really thought that was her moment. Like, okay, my king, my husband is dying, and he's telling me his last words.
I can run
and
shit now.
I think that he's telling me that my son is that he made a mistake, and his son is what he wants to be the Prince's Promise, not knowing that he's repeating a story that only people who are supposed to be crowned king or queen is supposed to hear. And that's why she doesn't know what she was talking about. But I also look at Rhaenyra is freaking terrible too, because it's gonna be hard for me to say this. Next episode, you telling this whole secret to a whole bastard. You know this is you know that this boy should be hearing this stuff. You know for a fact that this is a reason why.
But that was her heir, though. You got to think that's her heir, though.
He's a bastard.
We'll see. What I always felt like
sitting on that crown, and he doesn't.
But
clearly, he's not.
But I'm saying if she's his heir, then she'd pass it on. Because if you even, you know what I mean?
Really, I feel like if she was really going by the tradition of things, if she wanted to go by the tradition of things, she'll be talking to one of those babies.
Well, I mean,
I think they're both hypocrites.
But wait,
that's what I'm going into.
Yes, absolutely are. Right.
The difference between the two for me, Allison and I felt this even before she became the queen, was that I always felt that she had some underlying jealousy towards Rhaenyra. And the problem now is that it's finally coming to a head, and you're seeing it up front and personal instead of all of this like, oh, she's my sister, she's my friend, this and that. And then I'm only doing these things because my father is making me do things. I think that moment with Viserys was her feeling like, everything that I've done was for this moment. It was worth it. But then also it put her in a place of power to where she was no longer like just from like this little lower house. Now I am somebody and I can make decisions for myself. But lower than the king.
I'm not gonna lie, they got more money. They got more money than the crown.
But wait, here's one thing I want to say.
Old Town. Yes, they have more money than any. They have more money than Targaryens.
With Viserys, low key, it sort of shows the fact that he told Rhaenyra, if we're going by succession, technically, Daemon was the heir first, and he never told Daemon. You know what I mean? So Rhaenyra telling.
Right. Thank you.
Rhaenyra telling.
She's been her biggest hater. She's been her biggest hater, low key. She's judgmental. She's a hypocrite.
I rock with you.
And then she walked into a situation, and now she's like, now I'm somebody. And I think that it shows in how she behaves on an everyday basis. She was a huge hypocrite with Rhaenyra and having bastard children and all this stuff like that. And now she unaliving her own baby or whatever with a man that she ain't supposed to be with or whatever that she was with when her grandson was unalive and stuff. So I don't want to hear none of that. Like, there's no way that I can ever sit there and really sympathize with Alicent the way that people want me to, because I never, my biggest issue with people are like, I dislike liars, but I hate a hypocrite more. Stand on your shit. If you're gonna be a bad guy, and I've said this on the show multiple times, the reason why I loved Cersei is Cersei did what she said she was gonna do, and she stood on that shit regardless of how fucked up it was. She stayed true to that. She stayed with it and couldn't nobody. And you knew what you knew what to expect from her. You knew what you were gonna get. Alicent is sneaky. She's manipulative, and it's still a power play. Everything that she does is more calculated than we think. And I think that is why they are showing this, because the way that they are is because I think they're trying to show the side where Rhaenyra is just trying to get her birthright. And I think that's the angle that they're trying to push. Whereas Alicent is honestly trying to steal it. and has stolen it and is trying to keep it to herself because of a portion of it is her pride, her own personal jealousy, her own personal low self-esteem and low self-worth. And so that is why I think they're showing it that where Alicent and the Greens are so bad compared to Rhaenyra, just like we said, both sides have flaws. And we even saw some of that in Game of Thrones, where everybody had a house that they chose, that they liked. A lot of us were rooting for the Starks because we started with the Starks. Right. And for the most part, we saw a lot. Well, but you're a perfect example. You chose the Lannister side, even though there are a lot of people that didn't like the Lannisters.
I'm not gonna lie. When it comes to War of the Five Kings,
but when
it comes to War of the Five Kings, I was a Stannis guy. I'm a Stannis guy.
Episode 1. So you did exactly
I'm a Stannis guy all the way through when it comes to the Five Kings.
Disgusting. That's disgusting.
Whoa, Stannis.
I would never know. Stannis always can go to hell.
Stannis was fair and just.
Stannis, I burnt my daughter.
Now, you can think what you want, but
Stannis, I burnt my daughter at the stake.
Stannis
was black. He would be a coon.
I disagree. You start burning your children. You go talk to me and see how you feel.
I burned my own daughter at the stake.
Number one, that's that show shit. The Stannis,
that's a character.
Hey, Stannis played a major role in the Red Wedding. I don't give a damn. Stannis is a problem. It was always a problem. But he did participate in the Red Wedding, so I'm still here for that.
No, Stannis didn't.
No, that was.
He didn't in the book because he did in the.
He never did.
Okay.
He never did in the book. He had anything, nothing to do with the Red Wedding in the book. Remember, when it came to Rob, I'm about to say when it came to Rob,
I was getting him confused with the Boltons for a second. That's what it was.
Stannis told Rob that if Rob bent the knee just like his father did and pledged loyalty to him, he would help Rob get revenge, give him the North and everything. He said that.
Sorry, I was thinking of the Boltons.
Even when it came to Renly, a person who had no claim, no reason to even try to claim anything.
He was like, niggas just like me more.
Right. He even told Renly, I don't even have a son, bro. I don't even have a son, bro. I'm glad you got this following and everything. Won't you just join my cause? I'll name you my heir, and everyone still gets what they want.
Yeah, but then
Stannis was fair and just stop putting dirt on my man's name. Just because he burnt a couple people and he was a religious nut. You know, he was a religious nut. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
He was a
but it still goes back to what I said. In episode 1, you see the Lannisters and you see the Starks. You make a choice right then, and no matter how much the Starks did wrong or more little skeletons in their closet comes out on how they did wrong, people still looked at them as the good house and rooted for them in the aspect of being good. And then the Lannisters as being powerful or calculated, or even people that just like villain shit. Because, like I said, I'm Team Cersei, but I am also Team Stark at the same time. So I'm always looking for her to do something super problematic because deep down inside I'm a villain. But then from the good guy aspect and the underdog aspect, and the fact that we just watch these kids kind of grow up and be at least what the show tried to portray as like the good side, and the people that really were just completely okay with being in the North. They didn't want to be on the throne. Like, we're just happy in our little wool coats with our direwolves, like running around, minding our business. And their life was turned upside down once their father was executed. And so you rooted for that. And I think that they're showing it here. I think it's just more dramatic because even though there's other houses involved in House of the Dragon, there's not as much, in my opinion, as a sole focus on it as it was in Game of Thrones, where there was a lot of different houses visually pushing to take over the Iron Throne. Whereas this story is completely focused on the Greens and the Blacks, and everybody else is just a player to help one side or the other get there.
I do want to ask Tori this, to Alton's point. As a wrestling person, how do you feel about Rhaenyra being portrayed as the sympathetic figure who tried to fix her family before?
I hate it. It's just like she's Sami Zayn. She's the Sami Zayn of Game of Thrones, bro.
See, you started it because these two Negroes at the bottom are the wrestling Negroes.
Hey, she is the Sami Zayn of Game of Thrones, bro. And number one, it's
I
crazy
wouldn't
to
go
me
that.
that
I wouldn't go
everybody.
that
Hey,
far.
yes, she
I
is.
wouldn't
She is.
go
You
that
know what?
far.
Crazy is Rhaenyra. She's doing Cersei shit and try to look like she's innocent. You feel me? She has
Listen,
bastards
I
and
feel
flaunts
like
bastards around the court,
She's a
and then she
tweener,
feel like she
yo.
should be the
She's
queen.
a tweener. She's a
She's
tweener.
she's not. She's really a Sami Zayn.
She's a tweener, yo.
I feel like Cersei read the Maester story and was like, "I'm gonna do this, but better."
The reason why I love Cersei is because Cersei said, "I'm a woman. I understand how this world works, but I'm going to use that in my advantage, and I'm going to win with that shit." Rhaenyra, she's just like, well, I already got that path for me, so I'm gonna do what the fuck I want, and no one's good. She acts like Cersei in season 7, but hasn't done the work that Cersei's done. You know,
right? Hers is more entitlement than hard work.
I don't feel no sorry for her, none at all. No.
I don't necessarily feel sorry for Rhaenyra either. I would be lying if I like Rhaenyra as a character better, and I'm pushing for her to win. But I don't necessarily like Rhaenyra and dislike Alicent. I just really hate Alicent, and so her and her little boy toy can go to hell.
I'm gonna be real. I think the Greens just hate it because Christian Cole is such a piece of shit.
Yes, mainly. I probably would like them a little bit more if Kristen was not in the picture, because y'all know how I feel about that man.
He's sleeping with her, so she a villain. She 100% the villain because he with her right now.
Agreed.
When he hit that ground, I was like, yes. I was so happy. I was like, I hope you lose like your hearing or something. Like, I hope you lost a portion of your leg.
You got what you want, homeboy. Why do you care about Rhaenyra anymore? You are smashing the queen. You got what you wanted when you wanted her.
You impregnated the king, low key. I hope she have to. I hope the baby didn't go nowhere.
You know what I'm saying?
I hope it didn't go nowhere.
The baby is a new thing though, because the whole.
That's what I'm saying. I hope it didn't go nowhere. I hope that stuff did not work. And it's stuck.
But it's funny because Alicent
more.
But look, Alicent gave Rhaenyra shit over the moon tea, and she was drinking it over Sir Kristen Cole. So they both over
the same man.
I mean, I do give it to Alicent. Alicent
aborting the same baby, same dude's baby.
Shout out to giving a black man a role to give her stuff. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get a black man.
I don't like Alicent neither, because the fact is she was too pussy to fight for the life that she really want. But she hates Rhaenyra because Rhaenyra is actually doing that. You know what I'm saying? And Rhaenyra was doing it. She was doing it. She was pissed. I'm about to say she wanted to smash Kristen Cole when she first met him. Rhaenyra was already doing it. She wanted to smash any dude and have baby with who she want when she want, instead of having to mess with some decrepit old man that plays with his Legos. That was
literally rotting.
That was like, yeah. And Rhaenyra out here, she got side motherfuckers, got a pansexual husband. She living a life. She about to be queen. Fucking Damon. She was living a life. She's living all the life that Alicent want, and Alicent has been doing her duty. You know what I'm saying? She's been doing what her duty is, and she also, I felt like she looked at what happened in this war and how she started it as, this is justified. This is the gods. This is the seven blessing me and showing, and actually things are going my way because Rhaenyra has been doing or been taking the easy route or going around or
just doing whatever she gets to rebel while I have to follow the rules. And then when she found out, rewarded by following the rules.
When she found out she wasn't comprehending what her husband was saying, or she was being told something which she was never supposed to hear anyway. I feel like that just destroyed her world. So
look at her. She got her.
Yeah, that's why she looking for them books, because she's like, wait, so first off, there's a story because she thought that he would confide in her and all this stuff like that. He never even told you that story, baby girl. So not only did you get it wrong, but you don't even know the story because he never told you, because he never trusted you enough to know.
Can I feel that?
So now she's looking for them books.
Can I let y'all know? I feel like that whole prophecy thing, this thing that they're pushing, is stupid as shit. Especially when we know how it ends. Like, why would you remind me of y'all failures? Like that's how I look at it. Like that's why I look at it. Like, why would you remind me of your failures? Oh, the fire and ice. The princess promised. No, you should have said more like the little chick.
But you need to. You need to because it makes it. You need to because it was such a key point. Like this was something that had been going on and on and on, which is why it makes it 300 years later. If it wasn't discussed then you're constantly wondering, okay, when did it come up? When did this happen? And it starts with the Targaryen line. So you have to go. You need to talk about it.
I would have been cool.
It's a personal pet peeve because they just rushed, the final season to go do their Star Wars movie they never made.
Right. And that's what I said. Blame Star Wars. If you want to blame anybody for the final season of Game of Thrones, blame Star Wars. Sorry, Star Wars fans. I'm one too.
I would love
I still blame us.
Wait. Star Wars fans 100% blame everything. They hate everything about Star Wars.
I would have loved it if they would have said.
And I blame them because we all know that they rushed to go do the Star Wars movies, and they basically checked out. Like the last 2 seasons, they were like, "We are now fully focused on Star Wars, and Game of Thrones has made us more than enough money. They will take whatever the hell we give them," and that's what they did. That's why all of them scenes were dark as hell. Like there was one episode I'll never forget how it was all over the internet. Couldn't nobody see like damn near the whole episode?
It was a long night.
Yeah. Was it the long night? Because I know it wasn't the final episode.
It was the long night. It was the
you
long
couldn't
night.
see.
That's
what I was saying.
Wait, which one was the long night?
The long night was the war with the White Walkers.
I was going to say the battle with
the battle with the White Walkers.
There was another episode before the final, like the final episode with the war. There was an episode like 2 episodes prior where it was all over the internet because nobody could fully see it, and people thought that it was like their
because they came out with a statement. They was like, y'all should that y'all should have had y'all brightness on. We shouldn't have to do that.
We shouldn't have to do that.
We shouldn't have to do that. I haven't touched my brightness since I was 7.
I think the episode you're talking about was talking about episode. I want to say episode 5. It was episode 5,
right?
When they were all at
I'm talking about a Game of Thrones episode.
At the funeral where Aemon took Vhagar, all stuff like that, and then they had a little fight. The only thing you saw that whole day was the early funeral and the room where all the family got together when Al stabbed her in the arm after they took Aemon's eye out and stuff when they were all kids. That was it. That whole episode was dark, and they purpose even when Aegon and not Aegon, Daemon and Rhaenyra was getting on in the beach, you couldn't see something, nothing, absolutely nothing. So yeah, but that was on purpose because they wanted to give up the jury.
I just feel like if they really wanted to be accurate, right? You know what I'm saying, about the prophecy and shit, they should have said, "Hey, this dagger will take out blue eyes, green eyes." You know what I'm saying? To take out brown eyes, blue eyes. And to have that kind of speech and tell us the prince that was promised. No, bro, the prince was promised was a girl that was in Bravos for a couple of days, learned about freaking the Night King 3 days ago, and then killed him.
Yeah,
that was the prophet. If that's what we having a war for, I don't know. I'm probably that's just my little pet peeve. That and why is this another random shit? Why is Lord Tully in every show always bedridden?
Always.
Lord Tully is always bedridden. It don't matter what Tully it is.
It's a George R.R. Martin joke. He names the Tullys after fucking Sesame Street characters. That's why it's Grover Tully. There's an Elmo Tully. There's a Kermit Tully.
I did not know that.
I love little gems like that. Little fun facts.
But they're all puppets. They're all puppets. They're all puppets. So they're always named after puppets.
Speaking of that, I want to end off this. Why does Daemon hate children in this episode? He's cutting off this baby, the young
sleeping in that werewood bed, yo.
No, listen,
his children always took things from him.
This is build up to his, to the big, event in the books or whatever, which was one of my favorites ever. I want to see how the heck they're gonna do that dragon fight.
That's a real dragon fight, yo.
That's the real one. I'm like, what shit? But with Daemon, I think it's because going back to Ebony's point, like again, we love, we don't like liars or anything, but really cannot stand hypocrites, right? Daemon, even though how cruel he can be, he's honest ever since day one who he is. and took crap from nobody. Even went to a point of like when people were saying, "Did you do this?" Whoever he lied to you, but he didn't give you the truth or something. It's like he's
just
still
not gonna answer you.
He's just not gonna answer right. It's like he still is who he says he is and stuff. But even then, as a person, with all the things he did, and especially I think the child, the blood and cheese really is the one that broke the straw, because it's like at this point, as was someone that's done crazy things over the course of their life. Because in the books, Aemon, he's older. Let's not just think acting like it only been like 10 episodes. It's been several decades of him doing this, being this type of person, and that takes a toll on you. And I think that also gets to a root of like he can't be in denial of himself, even though he put in this facade of like that he is this type of person. But at the same time, like get to the root of it. You wanted to be the king, but yeah, your brother loved his daughter more than he loved you. And that is a fact. There's a fact of him going into Rhaenyra's life just to taint her or whatever and all that stuff, and then leave only to come back again and lure back in and stuff. That's exactly what happened, and that's getting into his core. And then we're seeing the foreshadowing of who he is. Like, yeah, he's wearing Aemon's outfit and stuff. That is basically nodding to a big confrontation later and stuff. But are we playing musical chairs?
I think his internet or something is going in and out, or something's going on his end. But I agree with you, and I think that's why the last fight between him and Rhaenyra was so powerful. And I like that Alice Rivers says, she was like, "So what? You just get into a fight with your wife, and then you run off and decide to come here and stuff." And I like that because, yeah, well, yeah, we know what he did, but I think that for the first time in a while, because he likes to convince himself that there's times that though he knows that he isn't crap, like he likes to convince himself that everything that he does is for a bigger reason and stuff, especially recently, because now he's gotten to that place where recently that's kind of the thought process that he's been convincing himself. And Rhaenyra said it best. She said, "The reason you don't even know about this story, the reason why I'm queen, is because your brother did not trust you. It's not even just the love aspect. Viserys didn't trust Daemon." And so I think that once he leaves and then he realizes like, and this is why I can't trust you. And you go and do stuff like this behind my back. And regardless if you told Cheese and them to unalive it, just anybody or whatever, I still don't know. And this would have never happened if you wouldn't have sent somebody in there in the first place. You did that without consulting to me.
Though, because you got to think, in the book, Daemon's Lord, he's Lord Protector. So he's not. You got to remember, like I said, he wasn't even there originally when Luke died to tell her. He was already at Harrenhal. He sent her a raven to let her know that he died, and it's just that they've changed a lot. Like
I feel like they did break it down.
He's not just the king consort like he is in the show. He's actually the nigga that's controlling the forces. So they sort of dialed back the power so they could pump us up on the drama.
Well,
right. Angelica just said he's definitely self-interested and he's trying to hide from his own truth. And that guilt eats away at you. No matter how, like, human nature requires the average person to have a certain level of guilt. And that eats away with you out over time. Even if you sit here and you say, I don't regret anything, we can sit here and say we don't regret the things that we did in our life because it was an experience, or it made us the person that we are today. But trust and believe, like, when you do fucked up shit over time, over and over again, like, that stuff does start to eat away with you, especially as you start to progress and develop as a person. And if he is trying to become a decent human being to some degree, then all of that past is going to come back to him. And it's coming to a head in like this really dark place where I don't think he ever was willing to take the head of a child like that. He is a dark and deep person, and he'll kill just about anybody. But you can tell that he was shaken up when that happened. And I think that was the first time that he realized that, damn, maybe I do too much.
Yeah, that's true.
It all just goes to show, like, it all goes back to Daemon and Aemon just being the mirror thing. The same way that Daemon felt about the blood and cheese incident. You can go back to season 1 and the look on Aemon's face when Vhagar fucking says fuck Luke. You know what I mean? It's not like he didn't tell Vhagar to do that. And just like we never hear Daemon tell them, oh well, if you can't get to Aemon, just kill anybody. You know what I mean? So
Hell, how they tell it in the story, it was like Aemon was just like said a son for a son. That's how they told the story.
yeah,
Not that Daemon ordered a son for a son.
Daemon is
And-
one-eyed Daemon, as they showcased this.
Baby
we actually
Daemon.
got to see one eye.
Yeah.
But we actually got to see a one eye. We got to see one-eyed Daemon.
Yeah,
Well,
we got to see
Daemon,
One-Eyed
which
Daemon.
I liked. I really liked that they kind of went back in that. I loved how they started it off with him just kind of like straight up cutting baby like young Rhaenyra's head off. And I thought that was really good how they shot it, and then the fact that she was speaking High Valyrian, and then the like speak plainly, and her saying everything that he knew to be true but didn't want to admit to himself. And then even after cutting the head, she's still talking and still haunting him, where it's like, this is what you've always wanted. And so you can stop sugarcoating it or hiding it. And I think, I always watch the commentary from the showrunners after the episode. And I like that they specifically said, this everything that's happening at Harrenhal is slowly breaking down all the walls that he has mentally put up to basically protect his psyche. Because he's been doing all these things in a way to protect himself and not feel guilty and continue to push forward. He has all these mental walls built up, and now they're slowly breaking down. And now he's becoming
the Witch Queen of Harrenhal at work.
Which I like, because they say that too. Like, you don't know how much of this is just him and his mental state, how much of this is being manipulated by Alice Rivers and stuff, which I think is good that we're seeing so much of her because she's mentioned so much in the books.
Oh, but she's gonna play into this upcoming. But the drama of Harrenhal could be peak fiction if done correctly, or they could bungle. If they bungle this, it'll be bad because they have a chance to do some amazing cinematic work here.
Yes.
Oh, I never said this, but when we were talking, because we started off with the dragon fight.
Yeah, we did.
But I think it was interesting that one of the main things that we saw in the beginning of the episode was Rhaenys confronting her husband, Corlys' bastard son.
Oh, I also want to point out that we got the little Blackwood that freaking murdered the guy in the Rhaenyra courtship fucking episode back in season 1. Got to make an appearance as an adult. So that was.
Hey, I can't wait. I want them to confirm if that was Bloody Ben or not in the last episode. I want to see some Bloody Ben.
They said it wasn't.
I don't know because the caption said Ben. The caption said Ben when he was talking. If you put on the captions,
yeah, and I know. No, everybody
Ben.
was saying, but people said that it was. Well, they confirmed like it was not. That wasn't it.
I ain't
but
seen no confirmation yet. But
He looks
exactly
just like
if that ain't him, they better rewrite it to be him. They better might as well.
And he better survive.
I don't think nobody gonna stop that. I don't know.
I also have another thing I wanted to ask you guys because you guys weren't here last episode, but Kami was, and he specifically said something that then I saw online by another person that I personally believe isn't like they think they're a know-it-all, and it rubbed me the wrong way. So I want to know for sure. So supposedly that was wild Ebony shit. I be talking shit. Anyways, so you came out and specifically said, Kami, that the dragons that were sent with Baela were not Dany's dragons, dragon eggs.
Yeah,
that's what you said in the episode. So then I guess later on, the showrunner ended up coming out and saying that they were indeed Dany's eggs, but remember, we already know that the showrunners are doing whatever they want to do to a degree. So I wanted to double check because I don't remember fully, but I thought that in the book it was pretty much clear that it were not Dany's eggs, that these eggs are not Dany's eggs,
right?
And so that they changed it for the show.
Unless they're going to show how those eggs got to Ashai, because from Pentos to
I was gonna say Pentos
is
to
a
a shy
long
is a
ass
fucking
is a
trek,
crazy
yo.
journey. You know
The
what I'm
whole
saying?
east,
That's a
damn
crazy
near.
journey
But-
for them to
and
come
they're
to.
not, and they're not called the Shadowlands for no reason.
Yeah, so for it, like that, I'm like this for them to actually confirm that those are the eggs, and for I feel like they don't even really freaking have to. Why? You know what I'm saying? But if they do that, it's going to be a tremendous ass pull and waste of time, just so you can confirm something that no one really needs any. To be honest, like unless you're just a show watcher.
Just
Maybe.
a show watcher, and that's
Yeah,
what I said when I commented on. I said they're Danny's eggs for the sake of the show to connect the eggs in Game of Thrones to this. I was like, but in the books they're not. And then I got a response was like, that wasn't necessarily true. I would pull up the comment, but I'm not trying to call people out.
I like the headcanon that's been going on for years, and that those eggs are from old Valyria, like you know what I'm saying, left off from old Valyria or something like that. But for them to be, you know what I'm saying, because to me, it will make more sense that these are old eggs from Valyria or eggs that has nothing to do with the eggs that come from a dragon that even they were bigger than, you know what I'm saying? Because those are whose eggs? Whose eggs?
You have
Styrex eggs or
yeah, wouldn't you have to change who Danny's eggs come from?
Yeah,
right.
Because these eggs came from a different dragon than what we know of in the Game of Thrones.
We don't know whose eggs it was really. And
Dreamfire. They implied that it was Dreamfire.
Well, yeah, they're implying that it's G-Fire in the show, but I'm talking about
not in the show. In the books, they imply that it's Dreamfire's eggs.
Yeah, I gotta go back to that.
I think with the show again, it's like when we talk about. I don't want to be those book readers again when you talk about being the know-it-all, but as someone as a critic and film pundit
no, I said she was a know-it-all, and I don't believe that she's a book reader. I believe that she's a Googler, and I believe that because they used the Forbes Forbes article that spoke about it and stuff. But even in the review where the person originally did the review for the episode, they were saying that as a book reader, they didn't put that it was definitely Danny's eggs because what they read in the book, it did not say that and implied otherwise. And then they said, as they remembered, the books did say that. So right now it seems like they're being changed by the show.
I don't remember them saying that. I don't remember Danny's eggs being. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say that I'm not going to say that that's confirmed, but I don't remember them ever actually saying or depicting who the dragons came from. I remember it came from the ruins of a Shai, or like deep in the mountains, somewhere in a Shai. The fuzzy memory, but I don't remember them actually being Caraxes or whatever, one of the dragons that we know now. The see now.
Well, and I think they say the eggs get lost, or what, either lost or get stolen, or something like that, or whatever, and so they end up somewhere else, and we think that they end up just either getting sold off or something like that, or they end up being damaged at some point or whatever, and so these eggs aren't the same eggs. If I recall what I read,
it's because of the size. Because of the fact of how the dragons and how they were raised from where we are now, like they even said, every hatchling that they got from now on was no bigger than a dog or no bigger than or whatever. Right. Yeah. When you have when they, I'm pretty sure, had better ways to lay an egg than on a freaking pyre, on a freaking pier, you know what I'm saying? On a freaking pyre, like Danny had. So that's why I feel that. I'm gonna have to ask y'all to send me what page and stuff, what book and page. But you know what I'm saying, so I can, get my clear on it. But you know what I'm saying, that's why it always made me look like I don't think that's Danny's eggs, because Danny's dragons was big as shit. Like not big as what you know what I'm saying, like Vhagar, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because think about it, Vhagar, Valerian, they came straight from Valyria. They were in Valyria, you know what I'm saying? And they came from Valyria, was around and everything and even for the century that they was around for the Targaryens staying on Dragonstone, they came straight from Valyria, and they were the biggest dragons that we know of, you know what I'm saying? And I always say I don't know which dragons are bigger than Ray. What's his name? What was Danny's dragon's name? The biggest one.
Drogon.
Right. I don't know too many. I know it's a couple of them that's bigger than Drogon.
Valerian, Black Dread, and
Valerian
Vhagar
is way better, and Vhagar is way bigger.
Vhagar is bigger too.
But I don't know about Caraxes and all the other.
Because like they're most. Because I think they say fucking he's got to be like the size of like Vermithor, which was like the dragon that fucking Jaehaerys rode. Fucking the big bronze bastard.
I thought Jaehaerys was on Vhagar too.
No,
rode Vhagar.
No, Jaehaerys rode on fucking Vermithor, which was the dragon that Daemon was singing to in season 1.
So in Jaehaerys' time, who was riding Vhagar?
That's a good question. I don't know off the top.
I thought his wife was riding Vermithor, and he was riding Vhagar.
He rode Vermithor.
Yeah,
now I'm being a Googler.
That's why I wanted to. Yeah, but I don't mind a Googler when I don't mind a Googler when it comes to certain things, because when there's like enough valid proof. If there's stuff where it's like it can be one way or another, and people are just coming up with their own ideas and stuff, at least with you guys, that's why I wanted to pose the question again, because I know that y'all are like hardcore book readers. I've only read a couple and I don't remember much of it, which is why I said I was going to go back. But, okay. When they said that, I personally don't recall, because I've been this person's friend on Facebook for years. I remember them watching Game of Thrones when we were watching Game of Thrones. I do not remember them talking about House of the Dragon at all season 1.
Okay.
And so then now all of a sudden it's like every week there's content and stuff about House of the Dragon. And I just feel like they're making content for the sake of content. And so they're finding stuff in different places and dropping it out as if they have like all the knowledge. And so when I am hearing something that goes completely against what I have heard from people that I know are hardcore book readers that have made content on it for a long time, that give me little snippets of things that I wouldn't know even if I tried to Google it or whatever, then that tells me that I feel like, okay, there's a disconnect here. So how much of what you're saying is just you pulling up stuff online, you saw it and you're taking it from fact just because the showrunner said it, when we know for a fact that the showrunners have a tendency to change the source material. That is nothing new.
Okay.
So that's why I wanted to ask y'all that question.
It went from Visenya to Balon. So nobody rode Vhagar until Balon, and ever since Visenya. So
I was say, because I was pretty sure Jaehaerys rode Vermithor because he was the bronze dragon.
The bronze dragon. That's a good name. That's a good name.
I mean, that was the nigga's color too.
So Zelme is in the back because that's why he kept going up and back. So I'll just ask you guys: was there any other key points? Because we didn't fully touch on Alicent losing, deciding to unalive baby Cole. Were we so? Even though that wasn't in, even though that wasn't in the books, were we? Were you surprised? Because I know for me as a watcher as well, I was like, what is she going to do if she gets pregnant? Because she's just screwing. And I kept thinking that, and I think that's but I think that's why they put it in there, because even though it didn't happen in the book, you already said Kristen doesn't have as much of a role in the books in this manner than in the show. So I think that it was necessary to put her in that position, not just to make her look bad, but also when people have sex back in the day, there were no protection. There was no protection. So how is she able to keep doing this and not get pregnant? And so I think that was a constant question that I know me personally I had. And I was wondering what she was going to do if she ended up pregnant. And I also want to know, because though she's not the king, if she did have a baby by him, what happens? Because I don't know what the Queen Dowager, like her position is per se anymore, because she's not married to the king. If she had a baby by someone like Sir Kristen, outside of the fact that he wears a white coat and he's supposed to be chaste, if she had a baby by someone else, obviously now that the king's dead, what does that mean?
Kingsguard vow is like execution, like depending on how seriously they take it. We know they was breaking their oaths all the time.
What if it wasn't what if he wasn't a Kingsguard? Like what if he wasn't wearing the white cloak and she got pregnant? Like,
I'm
would
pretty
would that still be a problem for her when it comes to like anything with her kids' rule and succession or anything like that? Or now that she's the queen dowager and she's not actually, and the heir is already on there, it doesn't matter.
He'll
Yeah,
just be a
Uh,
bastard because they're not
succession can
married.
always. It's a Game of Thrones. You have to think succession can always change. There's a reason
Yes.
bastards come into play so often in George R. R. Martin's work.
Oh, she's definitely a hoe, but
Yeah, they would be
wasn't
considered bastards.
everybody back then.
yeah, I think most likely that person, whoever is hitting the Queen Dowager, will be put to the sword.
Yeah,
They definitely will be put to the
Because Aegon,
sword.
I think Aegon's not going to take
Where's
kindly
that
to
static coming
clowns
from?
Right. That's what I'm trying to think.
Who's staticking?
Hey,
Nope, it was coming.
Oh, yeah. I was about to say I just muted just to make sure.
Yeah, I was
But
like, okay.
I don't. Yeah, I think it's just the person, the culprit, whoever's messing with the Creed Dowager, will just be put to the sword. Child will just also the child will have to live a life of a bastard and always be labeled a bastard, and the
Yeah.
Queen Joffrey will just be shamed. That's what I just look at it. What will be the consequences? I don't think they'll put the Queen Dowager to the sword or anything like that. And I think as far as like shame upon, I think it'll just bring shame upon the kids, you know, about whoever her kid is, and that's reigning. But that wouldn't like, make someone usurp or something like that. I think it would just be, there goes the king and his bastard brother.
Well, see,
And
that's why I was
what they
confused
would say,
why she needed the urgency to take the moon tea. You know what I mean? Like,
because
what
like we
was the
said with Allison
urgency?
earlier, Allison is a person who has literally lived her life and has that image out there, especially when it comes throughout the kingdom, that she is a woman of duty and that she does all what she has to do by the book, how she's supposed to do it. You know what I'm saying? That's what kind of reputation that she feels that the people, the common folk, have for her, or the court, or anybody outside of whatever that actually knows her, actually knows what's going on. So I think it's more of a like how she looks at that, and how she looks at it, how it affects and makes her look, more than the consequences behind it. Especially if you find out that, especially if you're going to get somebody like Rhaenyra and you judge somebody like Rhaenyra of how she was messing with people, messing with Cole and stuff like that, and now she's messing with her. Like, you don't want to. She just don't want to get caught in her shit. She don't want her bullshit to get out there. Basically, that's why I look at what she's doing. She just don't want her bullshit to get out there. She wants to keep that sparkly, clean image.
What did you guys take from her conversation with? I just call him Clubfoot because I don't never remember the man name. But
Lannis,
yeah, there we go.
Longshook or something, long something.
What did you guys
think
take from that discussion?
He just gave the fact that he was aware of everything, even though, like, you don't have to tell me. I already know you messing with Kristen Cole and stuff. But even then, he also has a fetish with her feet. He's like, hey, it's okay to dabble. We are, we all have our fleshly nature and everything. But at the same time, you also understand her, where it's kind of crazy to think that the king just died last week.
I feel like it was a check. I feel like it was a check.
It was blackmail.
I feel like, he was blackmailing, and he was like, I know your secrets. Whenever I need it, I'm gonna turn in I want my due. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Whenever I need it, I'm gonna want my due. You know what I'm saying? That's what he's laying the seeds for now and everything. I don't know. As far as his character goes, I always like Varys. I mean, shit, I got Varys right here. Varys is right behind me. I always fucked with Varys. I always fucked with even Littlefinger, because we gotta have that chaos, But this guy is just
I need Game of Thrones Funkos.
He's just like, why is he around? Right. Just like, he got a weird case. Why is he around? Like, I don't know. It's Longfoot is just there. I guess he's supposed to be the chaos that dwells in. We'll see. But like I said, the speed that they're going and how things are going, I don't even think it's going to look like it's rushed if he does make a very impactful move, because we don't know too much of moves that he was making in the book. But in the book, they made sure that we know that he was executed. You know what I'm saying? That he was punished for the things that happened. But we don't know too much of what the fuck he was doing, what he did.
I'm laughing at Angelica.
Shout out to Angelica.
Right. Angelica always comes through with a great
You
comment.
drinking moon tea? Let me see them toes, girl. Yeah. See, feel me? Like, bro was just a weirdo. And then, you know, but while at the same time, he's basically gonna be, I feel like he's gonna be the driving point of Aegon's madness, like of Aegon's madness. Hell, I think he probably gonna be in the one that poisoned him.
If
Just
you
to
had
try to get
to,
himself out of it, just to try to get himself out of the out of trouble.
what was this the best episode so far?
Of House of Dragon.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Oh, right.
because
On
for me
this
it
yeah.
was.
I don't know.
I mean,
I'm
Okay.
about to
all
say
of
I
House
can't.
of
I'm about to
Dragon.
say there's not much that I can argue with on here. I can't. It's no much. I mean, what's this competition? To be honest,
Well, my favorite is episode 6 of season 1, where after the time jump and we get to King Viserys, going up to the crown and trying to legitimize his grandson to be Lord of the Tides, and then all of a sudden the uncle be like, no, that's not Valerian, and Damon cut him. But really, with the dinner scene, that kind of right before he passed
Yeah.
away, he had a good family moment with both sides. Is the calm before the storm. And to me, it's still one of my favorites, episodes of the series. But
I'm
what
not
made
saying they
out of
had like
all
straight up bad episodes. I just come. You're right. I would say this is the best episode because it made one thing. It reminded me of while I was watching it. It made me. I had that slight thought in my head. This is why I fucking love the battles of Game of Thrones right here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
This is why I love the battles. It still isn't the best battle, but it still did its part. You know what I'm saying? And that's probably what I did not like about season 1. Because at least in the other Game of Thrones show, we got at least one big battle each season. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Mhm.
Each season, even if they did off screen it, sometime like the first big battle in the first season, they kind of off screen it when Jamie got
the
defeated
Crab
by
King.
Rob. With the Crab King?
Oh.
No, I'm talking about with
in
Rob.
Game of Thrones.
I was talking about Rob. I was talking about Rob versus Jamie when they captured Jamie. We got off screen on that, but it still was a great. I don't know. It still had a great tie in the first season. Or was that? Yeah, that was the first season. In the first season, and then the second season we got the Battle of the Blackwater, fucking epic. Third season we got the Red Wedding,
Which is just it's
classic,
the Red Wedding.
still classic. Fourth season, what do we get? That the Battle of the Wall. We got the Battle of the Wall. Fifth season, we got Hardborn, whatever the place was, Beyond the Wall. When we got the Ice Walkers was Jon Snow. Yeah, Wildlings, Hardborn, whatever the place was.
I know
We got that for sixth season. We got the best battle yet, Battle of the Bastards.
Mhm.
Then season 7, we had the battle of freaking Danny and the Dothraki versus everybody out there in
Cersei's,
Cersei's
The
army,
the reason I liked this episode the most was not just the battle aspect of it. The thing that I have said over and over again, and I know people give us the reason, is like they're still building a storyline, whereas with Game of Thrones, we already had like pretty established characters just because of the book and stuff like that, where I felt like the pacing of each episode and the season of House of the Dragon, even season 1 moving to season 2, it always felt slower to me than Game of Thrones. And in this episode, I felt like no matter if they were in a battle or even if they were having a dialogue, pieces were being moved on the chessboard, major pieces. And so I felt like every ounce of this episode mattered. You couldn't take your eyes off it, because if you did, you missed something. And you missed something that was important for the rest of the story. And so that's why I really like this episode, because no matter if it was the beginning, the middle of or the end, even down to Rhaenys meeting Corlys' bastard son, or the conversation between Aegon and Alicent, all the way down to Christian Cole in the battle, all the way down to Rhaenyra coming back from going to King's Landing and seeing Jace kind of get antagonistic with her and be like, he came in like when the mom wasn't there. It's like, where you been all day and all night and stuff. So I think everything was important.
Remind me on the books. Are both brothers the bastard sons? Are they like twins or something? Or are they like they were born? It's like they're born years
both
later.
Brothers are bastards.
Yeah, bastards of Corlys.
No.
I thought
no. Yes. I think they're both bastards. I think both of Alan and the other one. I think they're both bastards.
I know they're both bastards, but I don't know. Are they both Corlys's bastards or just one? Just the one.
Valerian bastards, but like, yeah, just.
I mean, I
know Alan is.
What he ends up doing. I know
Alan is. The question is if the other one belongs is his bastard or if it's his brother.
The one that gets
I have looking at. All I know is of one, but I don't know if the other one. Like the one we saw in the episode was also,
Yeah, the one that ends up getting sea smoke. That's what I'm talking about. If he's Corlys's.
Well, I think they're both bastards because that's why the contention for the Battle of Driftmark, like the secession for Driftmark, is such a thing. I think it's between them plus Rhaenyra's children. I think it's more than just Alan in that running for that.
Yeah, I know it's going to be more than Alan because he legitimizes the other one. But I was thinking, like, I don't know. I don't know if it's like I was trying to figure out if both of them were the bastard of Corlys and not just one of them.
Kami would know, but he had technical difficulties and had to reset the Wi-Fi. Today is it storming everywhere? Because it was storming here. I thought that I was going to lose power at one point.
Yeah, no.
I see Alan. I see Adam as his two kids. Adam, Alan.
Yeah, Adam is the other
was
one.
the bastard too.
Yeah, so both of them is disputed.
Yeah, I gotta go. My wife is calling.
Yeah,
me,
I think we're done.
All right, yeah. Thanks for having
before you go, tell them what you.
Oh yeah. So my plug. Thank you. You can find me on Jedi Mike 7 on YouTube. Again, I do interviews and I do coverage of all things, comic books. I'm getting started on anime stuff. I have, somebody on my team doing that. I also got Game of Thrones and other content, everything nerd stuff, as you can see, I cover and everything. So yeah, just make sure you guys subscribe to that. I have a link tree as well, my bio, my Instagram as well. I do content on there and everything. All that stuff is connected through there. So thank you guys. I really appreciate meeting you all. Look forward to talking to you guys again and stuff like that. Really good conversation.
It was fun, and I just followed you.
Oh, thank you.
Subscribe.
Thank you.
That's my guy.
Alton Analyst on all platforms. You could also catch me on here, Black Nerd. I'm gonna say Black Nerd, Blurred Cartel. Sometimes on Friday Night I do want to come to a roundtable on Wednesdays sometimes, but I just be too freaking busy. But please check out my new video that'll be dropping Wednesday. My review as I analyze the anime 91 Days and
so good.
And in a month, I'm going to finally live up to my word for Ebony Moonbeam, and I'm going to finish my review on Dororo. I did finish the show. I do love the show. It took me a while.
I told you.
It hurts to get into because I had to force myself to get into it. But
which is crazy because once you're in it, and it's so good. It's one of the best stories
I kept getting to like episode 8 and drop it. For a whole year.
It's been a year since I even paid this man to watch it, and he didn't. And he was like, "I started it, but I stopped." I was like, "You cannot be putting your all into this."
The main mistake was I read it wrong. My dumb self read it.
Oh yeah, you watched Dorohio or that one. Dorohidoro. That's what you looked at.
And then I did a video on that, and then it was like, "No, Dororo." I'm like, okay. All right, but I definitely got it. You will be getting a shout out and a tag in that.
I can't wait to see it.
And I'm
glad you liked it.
Soon. Yeah, it was great.
I push that anime on everyone. I push that, and I like that you're doing 91 days because I push that on everybody because so many people don't know, and I think that is a great anime to put on like people that don't know
Go watch
anime.
I said that at
Be-
the end of my video. I said it in my
because
video.
it's so real life. It's so good. Like he does revenge so well. But I'll go on and say my piece too. So I'm Ebony Moonbeam. You can find me at Ebony_Moonbeam on all social media platforms. You already know I'm a cosplayer. I'm 1/3 co-host of the Waifu Views podcast, which is a female blurred-led podcast that gives you everything fandom with a side of waifu. We came back after kind of a long hiatus and did an episode yesterday on Demon Slayer. Be sure to check that out on YouTube. It was a rocky episode because we hadn't been in there in a minute, but we got through it. You can find me. I also have a series called Anime for Dummies where I drop a little bit of anime knowledge for you guys, different terms and stuff that a lot of people don't know or don't really know the meaning behind. I will be getting back to that soon, probably right after DreamCon. I will be at DreamCon in person with all the waifus and everyone at the Blurred Cartel. You can find me on Wednesdays at the Blurred Cartel's Roundtable. We are currently in the middle of a Blurred Jeopardy tournament. As the reigning champs, the waifus have not come back to battle. People have to battle to get to us. So you may not see me on Wednesday and maybe next Wednesday. Right after that, you can find me on Keep It 99 media channel on YouTube for casual conversations with Afro Kami 765, where I am, as my moniker says, a debaucherous whore, where we have casual conversations about degenerate stuff on the internet. And you can also find me sometimes on Saturdays on the Make It Make Sense podcast. And be sure to follow Afro Kami 765. He is also on the Blur Cartels Roundtable on Wednesdays, casual conversations right after that. And then Friday night, you're on Fridays to talk wrestling at the Blurred Cartel as YouTube page as well.
Okay, I found those links. I got.
Who are these niggas?